my first video, I wanted to talk about something that comes up with many English language learners, maybe more often than really any other big problem. Yes, people complain about grammar and people complain about vocabulary, but the most common thing is just this discomfort with speaking. And really, I think this is pretty common when learning any language, and can be kind of common in certain situations, even in your own native language, that the act of producing words and wanting to be clear, wanting to be understood, can be difficult, especially depending on what it is you're trying to talk about and what the situation is. Like if it's public speaking, this can be a lot more scary than just talking to your friend about something. So in this case, I do want to speak specifically to English language learners. However, the 3 tips I'm going to give really are actually applicable to learning any language or speaking in really any situation. This is video number 1. You may or may not know who I am. I am Devin and I am with Banter English. We work with English language learners to help them feel more comfortable and confident in their English communication skills. We do that by focusing only on the information that is most important, most practical to what they actually need. So if you are primarily giving presentations in English, you don't really need to know how to order at a cafe, now do you? So with that in mind, let's get to the points. So here are the 3 things that I recommend in any situation to feel more confident and comfortable when trying to give information to other people. This could be to a group, to a boss, to a friend, on a date. It could be really anything. The first thing you want to do is make sure you warm up. And how you warm up may depend on the situation. If you're not a native English speaker, it may be helpful to warm up your mouth, especially coming from certain languages like Korean, for example. The way that we use our mouth in English is considered more dynamic. There's more out and up. We move our mouths in all kinds of ways. It's very big, whereas Korean tends to be a much smaller language with a minimal amount of movement. So the facial muscles are not used to making those kinds of shapes and being that dynamic, which is why it's called a dynamic language. So it could be helpful to actually warm up your mouth. That can be jaw massages, or there are all kinds of tongue twisters and vocal warm-ups that you can find online. Highly recommend checking those out. If that isn't your issue, or if that is and you would like some more things, other things you can do to warm up are just to go through the points in your head. You can go through and be like, okay, the first thing I want to make sure that I talk about is that people need to give warm-ups. They need to do warm-ups, and then after that, my number 2 point is, which leads me to point number 2. Sometimes, and this is especially helpful in language learning, but could be helpful even in your own native language, is to shadow. So the act of shadowing is also called mimicking in some places. But what it is that you listen to a speaker whose tone or language or personality or literally anything, it is something that you feel reflects you. So it's something that you think, oh yes, that's what I want to sound like, or that's how I want to express my thoughts, is just the way that this person is. So you find something of them, maybe an interview, an audio, if they do TED Talks, really anything. You find some kind of audio of them speaking in the way that you want to speak. And what you do is you literally listen and repeat. And the goal is to try to match every sound, pause, emphasis, everything you can as closely to the way that they say as possible. So just to give an example, say that they have a sentence that is something like, And today we are going to be talking about confidence. To shadow would not mean to say, and today we will be talking about confidence. That is not shadowing, that is just repeating words. What you would want to do is, and today we will be talking about, pause, confidence. So pay attention. And today, pause, we will be talking, small pause, about, big pause, confidence with emphasis. That is shadowing. Some people prefer to do it sentence by sentence like that. Once you get a little more comfortable and you're able to process it quickly, some people actually repeat as the person is speaking. So you're a second or two behind. That's really hard. I cannot do it, but if you can, more power to you. You can probably get through it much faster. And point number 3 is actually probably the most important point of all of them. It doesn't matter if you warm up, it doesn't matter how many times you shadow, it doesn't matter who you shadow. The number 1 thing is our number 3, which is to not give a, just don't care. It doesn't matter. You may think, oh, but this is a presentation to my boss. What if I don't do well? What if it's fine. It's fine. Oh, but I've been studying this language for 6 years and I can barely have a conversation. It's okay. It's fine. There will be ways to get the information to whoever needs it. Very, very rarely, if ever, is anyone going to find themselves in a situation where they have a gun to their head or they're being dangled over a fiery pit and someone says, I'm going to ask you this very important question and you must answer in a way that is grammatically correct, uses advanced vocabulary, and uses some sort of strange idiom that only a native speaker would know. If you get it wrong, you're going to die. That doesn't happen. So you're going to get another chance. If the presentation is not quite clear, send an email, follow up afterward. If you're worried that it's not going to be clear, have some slides ready so that at least the information is visual in case you can't get it out. But whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the irony is, the less you think it matters, the more likely you're going to succeed. The stress of being terrified of making a mistake makes you more likely to make a mistake. So I hope these 3 tips helped. Again, they're pretty good for any situation. There are some other tips that are maybe a little more specific to learning English, but we'll get to those in another time. Until then, I hope you have a great day. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any thoughts or comments, obviously everyone says leave a comment below, but I specifically want to know if this helped you or if there are any other topics that you would like to have some thoughts on, or that you don't feel like you quite understand when other people explain. Maybe it'll make sense from me. Who knows? All right, until next time.